Final, Roger Federer and Marin Cilic. Federer coming in, had not dropped a set the entire tournament, led the head-to-head 8-1 over Marin Cilic, a rematch from the finals at Wimbledon last year.
Well, it was clear to me early on, Roger had a game plan. He wanted to step in on the second serve return. We saw that there with the backhand, and he really dictated play. A very nervy start for Cilic, which was a little bit surprising, and you kind of felt that Cilic would work his way back into the match, save some break points throughout the second set, but really started to assert himself in the second set tiebreak.
Yeah, momentum is such a powerful force in any sport, particularly in tennis. And Cilic gained a bit of momentum here. He could have been in real trouble down 2-0. Instead, he took that set. But again, Roger found some answers in the third. How about that flick forehand there? Brilliant half volley from the baseline.
Well, he continually stuns us with shots like this. I mean, that just doesn't look possible to create a shot like that. But this is what makes Roger Federer so great. He thought he had control of the match in the fourth, but let it slip away. He was up 3-1, and Cilic started to get some momentum. Was up 5. He won 5 straight games to close out that fourth set. And right here, that shot, that defensive forehand from Federer was a turning point in this match because Cilic was really dictating play. And later on in the game, this was an important moment. Great point for Cilic. Fairly easy second serve to the forehand, and we've seen him miss that before against Federer.
Yeah, that was in the strike zone. You felt that was maybe a chance. Suddenly Federer closes out the game, a little stroke of genius cross court, and then able to strike with a break. Here was a chance to get the double break, and this would secure it. And you felt like, okay, he's home, and he was on the doorstep of another major. Boy, the swings of momentum, though, were brilliant in this match.
It was incredible. You know, final scoreline of 6-1 in that fifth set, but it was a lot closer. The first 3 games went to deuce, so Federer won all 3 of those. It could have been different, but in the end, the master succeeds.
For the second straight year, a 5-set win for Roger Federer in the finals, and for the 6th time, he is reunited with Norman. Roger Federer, his 20th Grand Slam singles title. And you can see here, first one was back in 2003 at Wimbledon. Got his 5th at the All England Club as well. In 2007, he got number 10. Then 15 in 2009, and amazingly, 9 years after that, gets number 20 at the Australian Open. This was the 200th Grand Slam in the Open era. So with 20 majors, Roger Federer now has 10% of all of them. Of course, Serena Williams, Steffi Graf, they have more than 10% on the women's side.
Well, the reason we're so amazed by Roger Federer is his all-court game. As Tracy mentioned, he can do everything. In that final, points where the rallies were less than 4 shots, he won. There were 76% of them, and he won the majority of them. So we wouldn't have thought that. We would have thought Cilic, the big hitter, the big serve. But Roger adjusted himself. And also, in critical times, we think about the greatness of Roger Federer. He has the ability to really harp on strategy. He comes up with great things. We saw when he was down a couple match points at Wimbledon a couple years ago, goes to the second serve to the forehand against Cilic. And we saw that also last night at a very critical moment. But right here, this was a match point last year, 2016 at Wimbledon. Even though Cilic was playing really well, he makes his opponent beat him with his weakness. You can see the forehand return is probably the one shot that breaks down for Cilic under pressure. And here, this was a big moment. Break point, first game, 5th set, second serve to the forehand. No surprise. So, you know, we talk about the greatness of Roger Federer, and he has so many incredible things. We're out of superlatives, but it's always interesting to me. You see that with the greats. You watch it in football with Tom Brady. They dissect their opponents. Right there, when he had lost all momentum, lost 5 games in a row, he still had the wherewithal to know that, you know what, I'm going to make my opponent beat me with his worst shot.
Incredible stuff. And to think that when he won the Australian Open, Roger Federer, in 2004, every single player he beat on the way to that title is now retired.
Really the one thing that's overlooked with Roger Federer, as Leif mentioned, is the serve. Once again, he out-aced Cilic. He had 24 aces. And the sets that he won, he served over 60% on the first serve. So it's such a big weapon for him. We talk about Rafa, how he's trying to maybe shorten points, but he doesn't necessarily have the artillery that Federer has. But because he serves so well, it allows him to be aggressive sometimes on the return. And we saw that tonight against Cilic.
4 majors after the age of 30. The only other guys that have ever done that in the Open era, Ken Rosewall and Rod Laver. I mean, that's some incredible company. Obviously, Roger Federer now with 20.